Hi, cat fans. Tim Black here. Just wanted to take a second before the episode started to apologize for the sound quality in this episode. There was something wrong with my microphone. I do test these things before we record, and it tested fine, and it sounded okay through my headphones while we were recording the episode, but for some reason, my microphone did not record very well, if at all. So it's kind of hard to hear me in this episode. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. You can hear Rebecca fine. She sounds great, but you kind of have to strain to listen to me a little bit. So I just wanted to apologize for that, and I hope you enjoy the episode anyway. We wanted to make sure that we got it out there for you because it is the Kitten Bowl, and we don't want you to miss that. So anyway, thanks for listening, and again, I apologize, and whatever the problem is, we're going to get it sorted out for the next episode. So without any further delay, enjoy the show.
Hey there, cat fans. Welcome to Meowster Podcast. I'm Rebecca Zish. That's Tim Black.
Hi.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
I'm grand. How are you?
I don't know that I'm grand. But yeah, I'm pretty good. I took a recent visit to the Kitten Gridiron.
Yes, we did.
Once again for the fourth annual Kitten Bowl.
Yes.
On the Hallmark Channel.
It was Kitten Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
Most people didn't know.
Yeah. According to John Sterling,
yes,
of John Sterling and Mary Carrillo fame, It is the most exciting Sunday in America.
There's some excitement there for sure.
I love John Sterling and Mary Carrillo.
Yes, they're fantastic.
They're so good at this.
It's good chemistry with each other, I think.
They really do, and they're having more and more fun all the time with kitten sports.
Yes, they really are.
They actually made a couple of funny asides to each other. Like Mary Carrillo made like one particularly terrible pun.
Yeah.
She said something about meow or later, I think.
Oh my God, okay.
And John Sterling said, "Oh, good one, Mary." And she said, "There's plenty more where that came from, John."
You better believe it.
Yeah. They're having fun.
They are.
Yeah. And you know who else was having a lot of fun this year?
Who's that?
Boomer Esiason.
Boomer.
He was having more fun. He was having more fun this time than ever before, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's really got his straight man thing down.
Yes.
As the
commissioner of the
FFL,
Feline Football League.
So there was a joke that happened twice this time. I laughed both times.
Okay.
And this joke is when Boomer Esiason comes and sits with Mary Carrillo to talk about what's going on. Right. Mary Carrillo says to him, twice she did this, as a former human football player.
Yeah.
What do you think's going on in the minds of our catletes? As a former human football, he's just straight faced.
He played it straight.
So good. That's an awesome joke.
That really is.
I really wasn't looking forward to watching this again. I think after last year, after the third Kitten Bowl, I felt like they weren't trying anymore.
Right.
I think we had a particularly hard time getting through Kitten Bowl III.
It was a little rough.
I felt like they were using all the same puns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially in comparison to the Paw Star game had been a breath of fresh air.
Right.
After Kitten Bowl III, the Kitten Summer Games were a real breath of fresh air as well. And I think they really figured out they needed to up their game here at the Kitten Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think they brought it.
They really did. I will admit, yes. I was a little hesitant to go into this year too because it recorded 3 separate shows on my TiVo. I don't know if it did for you.
Well, I told you that it actually only recorded one.
The championship game.
And at first I thought, wait, the whole thing was only an hour?
No.
This stuff is usually 3 hours long. Right. And then realized, and I texted you, I'm like, I think we've got a problem because I only got 1 hour of it because they separated it up. And so my DVR didn't realize I wanted all of it. Right. But luckily it was on demand.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
But it was Yeah, I looked at my TV and it's like Kitten Bowl IV pregame show, Kitten Bowl IV
Playoffs.
Kitten Bowl IV championship game. Oh my gosh, there's 3 separate shows I gotta watch. But now they were. I mean, it's still totaled the same amount of time as it did when it was all one show.
Actually, I feel like because I watched it on demand, it was actually much shorter.
Oh, really?
And I didn't have to fast forward through commercials, which actually, I think there are a lot of commercials on the Kitten Bowl because the pregame show on my on demand was only like 27 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the playoffs were a little longer. Hi, Harriet.
Harriet has joined us.
So we're seeing if she wants to say anything into the mic. The playoff shows were a little longer, but the championship game part of it was like 42 minutes on my on-demand. Wow, it was so fast.
It did go by quickly.
Yeah. And there was just a lot happening. I liked how they broke it up this year.
Yeah. They did a lot of new stuff.
A lot of new stuff I was really a fan of. I liked where they were going with it. And I'm telling you, more Boomer Esiason is a good thing.
Yes.
Beth Sturm was great.
Yes.
She just gets better all the time.
Every year, yeah.
There were a few times in like the pre-taped stuff where she was talking to like Hallmark style celebrities, about adopting. Although they did have I was pretty happy with some of the celebrities this time.
Yeah.
They had Rocco DeSpirito back. We haven't seen him in 4 years.
Right.
He was one of the highlights of the first Kitten Bowl, I remembered.
Yeah.
And
he was talking about some of the food that they were serving.
He was so funny.
He was very funny.
He's not a good straight man because he has a smirk on his face the whole time he's saying it.
Right.
But God, he loves kittens.
Sure.
That guy really loves kittens, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because they do get those celebrities that are just dog people.
Yeah, they do.
Like, what are you doing here?
Why am I looking at this guy sitting there with his dog on his lap? I mean, it's great that they got somebody to take their valuable time to.
I think some of them work for Hallmark.
Right.
Yeah.
They're contractually obligated to. We're going to send the camera to your house. Just sit there with your dog and say, "Adopt a pet." That's it.
That's all. Yeah. And that's fine. But I much prefer when they have cats.
Yes.
There was some woman who I guess is a DJ on iHeartRadio or something.
Yeah.
Who I'd never heard of at all, but she was on there twice.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the pregame part of it, and then she was in the championship game part of it. But slightly different little bits that she did for them. Mm-hmm. And in the this kind of freaked me out. In the pregame part, she said she had 3 dogs and 3 cats.
Yeah.
And in the championship part, she said she had 2 dogs and 3 cats. And I was wondering what had happened in the 2 hours in between.
Oh my God. Wow, I missed that, but wow.
Well, you know how I am about details on this stuff.
Details are important. Wow.
I was concerned.
Yeah.
Of course, it's possible
they have been filmed months apart.
They could have been, or even years apart.
Could have been filmed years apart, and they could have been filmed in reverse order. She may have started with 2 dogs and got a 3rd.
Yeah. I'm going to decide that that's what happened.
Yeah. Because
I much prefer that that answer to the glaring question.
Yeah.
But also, they showed the second time she was on, they didn't show any pictures of her pets. But the first time she was on, they showed a picture of 3 dogs, but then a picture of 2 cats. And the cats had their backs to the camera. It was like a picture of 2 cats looking out a window.
Right, yeah.
From behind. Yeah. And I was like, well, where's the 3rd cat? And I want to see their faces.
They're looking out the window at the 3rd cat.
Like of all the pictures that woman must have of her pets.
She doesn't live anywhere. This is the best I can do.
And they're not even looking at us. That was very strange. Oh, no. That was strange. But I did really like, now I can't think of her name, but the actress, they had an actress on who's on Orange is the New Black.
Oh yeah, she was
who had a great story about adopting a feral kitten.
Right.
And being patient with the kitten.
Yeah.
creating that relationship. That was a very nice story.
Mm-hmm. She was talking about the first time that the cat let her touch it.
Yeah. It was 2 months, she said, before she touched her kitten.
Mm-hmm.
It's very touching.
Yeah.
She said, everybody told me not to adopt a feral kitten. Yeah.
Happy ending.
I do. I tell people not to adopt feral kittens.
Yeah.
So
that's good advice.
But sometimes it works out. You have to be very patient, very particular type of person.
Yes.
Yeah, so they had some good. I liked Caroline Ray. She was hilarious.
She was funny.
Meredith Vieira was hilarious.
She's always good.
Yeah, really good. But there were some other celebrities I don't know. I didn't really understand them.
Right.
Our referee was back.
Yes, Chuck Nice.
Love the referee. I like that part. It wasn't during the championship game, but he was like giving one of the little kittens a pep talk.
Yeah, give him a little pep talk. He was the nervous cat that was like this is the kitten that was hiding.
Yeah, early on, before the playoff game, he was
shaking nervously in the locker room.
In the locker room. And the Arm & Hammer clumping litter.
Yes.
Yeah. But that was so cute. He took the kitten aside and he said, now these guys might be bigger than you, but wasn't that it or something like that?
You got the heart of a champion. Something like that. Get out there and now get out there and show them what you got.
And Mary Carrillo was funny because she said it's an unusual person to give one of the catletes a pep talk, but
yeah. Could have been one of the coaches, but
the coaches can't talk.
No, that's true.
They are cats. I did appreciate some years we did not actually meet all the coaches. Mm-hmm. And this time we actually got a name for every coach.
Coaches got a lot of camera time this year.
I really like that.
I did too. And I liked that they had little bow ties on.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Each one of them had a bow tie on their collar. Yes. And they got some good footage of the coaches where it would look like they were pacing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they did. They really did a lot with editing this year to make it look like a real football game. Whereas before it was just like all kinds of different balls and little furry, feathery things all over the field, and a bunch of kittens, just a pile of kittens running around crazy all over the place.
Right, and then they would just narrate it as if something were happening.
Now they make it look like the cats are passing footballs and catching footballs in the end zone, and coaches are pacing.
The pacing coaches, I love.
It was great. I really like the attention to the editing that they did this year. It was really.
It's got to be so hard too, because there's so much footage. Yeah. They had a kitten cam streaming live from the North Shore Animal League this year. That if you were watching on Super Bowl Sunday, you could have actually been watching the live kitten cam. Uh-huh. And I don't remember them ever doing that before.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I liked that idea. I remember in the past they've told us that they were having Kitten Bowl parties across the country at different no-kill animal shelters. Right. And I think they've shown us like pictures of that or live feeds of those things. But this was actually kittens available for adoption, because we know that, Beth Stern always tells us all the catletes are available for adoption. They've all already been adopted. Yes. They have been gone and in their homes for months by the time this airs.
There was a kitten catch-up. I think it may have
They had so many kitten catch-ups this time.
Kitten catch-ups, but there was one, I think may have been during the championship game. I don't remember.
Yeah. My head. I have them all written down.
It's in my multiple notes somewhere.
Oh, I've got 7 pages of notes.
Oh, I got a ton of notes. Yeah. But one particular kitten catch-up, it was 2 women that had adopted.
Yes.
And they're like
2 cats.
2 cats, yes. And they're like, oh, we had no idea. Like, did you know that these were Kitten Bowl catletes? Like, we had no clue.
No, they had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't go in there and say, we want Kitten Bowl.
No, because they'd adopted them before the games had even aired. They'd adopted Pumpkin and Ben Roethlisberger.
Right.
Yeah.
Which everybody has renamed their cats, by the way.
Yeah. In fact, I don't think that couple, I don't think, told us what
they may not have.
What their cats' new names were. I didn't bother to write down any of the cats' new names, because Yeah. Oh, one of them I did.
You did.
Only one of them I did, and that was because I've complained about this in the past that I want to know what happened to these kittens, where they got adopted. I'd love to see them again, all grown up.
Yes.
And so I was so excited this year.
I think they've been listening to us because they took some of our advice from years past on this and other things too.
I have to say, it wasn't as glaring, the use of male pronouns.
Right.
They actually called the players by their names much more commonly than they used to.
Well, and there even was a Mitzi.
Right.
Yeah.
There actually was a female player. Oh, it was such a relief for me.
Progress.
I know. I'm so excited. But there was only one kitten catch-up where I wrote down the cat's new name. But this was the cat that was known as Puma Esiason.
Okay.
And the cat's name is now Kylo.
Kylo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that was cool. But anyway, Puma Esiason, who was a tiny little fluffy guy, is like a 20-pound Maine Coon. He's so big. And I wrote here, Puma Esiason, Kylo is giant and so fluffy. And so has 4 O's and then there's 4 exclamation marks that I put there.
So that's serious.
Very serious. Very giant and so fluffy.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah.
But there was another kitten catch-up with Mr. Slippers. Mr. Slippers, one of Kitten Bowl III's big stars. He was a little polydactyl fluffy guy.
Right.
He is not fluffy.
No.
He grew up to not be fluffy at all.
I noticed that.
That was shocking to me because he was such a fluffy kitten.
That was surprising.
Yeah.
That was surprising.
He's all short-haired now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also got a kitten catch up with Joe Montuna.
Yep. Joe Montuna and Clavin Johnson were adopted together.
Yes.
Yeah, they looked happy.
They sure did.
Yeah, they all looked happy.
Everybody's happy.
The first kitten catch-up, there was one that happened actually during the pregame. Rocky from last year's Last Hope Lions, who was not a very good player.
Oh, but scored the winning goal.
Yeah.
The winning field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was not a good player prior to that. He had quite a number of mistakes he made on the field. He was adopted by a sports writer from Sports Illustrated who had been sent to cover the Kitten Bowl. She'd been sent by Sports Illustrated to do a story at North Shore Animal League and ended up adopting this kitten. So Tiffany Oshinsky.
Yes, that's her.
So good for Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess he was she and her husband, their third cat. So he got to go to a house with other.
Very nice.
Yeah. I mean, and I thought, honestly, during the pregame when they did that, like, well, at least we get one story because it's a Sports Illustrated, writer. And so, and then it was a barrage of them.
It was just over and over.
Not only that, but there was actually Boomer Esiason inducted 2 previous catletes into the Feline Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And I don't think they were really there, but they made it look like they were there.
Right.
So it looked like because they were their grown-up selves.
Yeah.
But I think they filmed them just at their houses and somehow superimposed that.
They may have brought some green screen stuff to the house or whatever to make.
Oh, that's probably what they did.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. But it was Howie Longhair and Ron Gronkowski from last year's games. And Howie Longhair is one of the cutest kittens of all time because he was just a big fluffy dude with a giant orange head. And he's still all fluffy and big and great. They're both great looking cats, but I was very excited to see Howie Longhair and see him all fluffy, and he kind of looks like my Purgo.
He kind of does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Yeah, so that made me happy.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I like that. They should do more of that all the time. We always want to know what's going on.
Catch up is a great thing.
It's a great thing. Another awesome thing they did is that there was actually a cat or kitten, thank you, who had competed in the Kitten Summer Games.
All right.
So Hissing Bolt
was in the
who won the gold medal for the Meowathon
right.
in the Kitten Summer Games and was actually very big in track and field.
Mm-hmm.
Competed in, according to my notes, competed in 4 different events in kitten track and field last summer.
Oh, okay.
And took the gold in the Meowathon, took silver in the 100-meter dash.
Okay.
But also competed in the hurdles.
Okay.
So three events.
Okay.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Was also here at the Kitten Bowl, and on purpose they were telling us that.
Yeah.
So that's how long ago they filmed the Kitten Bowl, right? Because they don't stay kittens for long.
No, they don't. If you look at a kitten ketchup, you're looking at big cats.
Very big cats. Some of them enormous.
Yes.
Puma esiason is a giant cat. Even the coaches aren't that big.
No, they're not.
The coaches are more like 9-month-old kittens.
Right. Yeah.
So some other new exciting things. We actually saw during the pregame, Boomer Esiason showed us some of the potential quarter cats, or the potential that the quarter cats were going to have in games, things we should look out for.
Yeah.
What was funny, though, was that both of the kittens that he did bits with for this didn't seem to actually play in the games.
That's true.
But this was very funny to me that there was a quarter cat named Cubby who had all kinds of talent.
Yeah.
And then Puddles, who couldn't throw a ball. The bit was hilarious.
It was really fun.
And then they had new equipment this year. They had slides on the field.
They did.
They had hamster balls on the field.
Mm-hmm.
They had what they called Boomer's blindside barrels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they brought the kitten swings back.
The kitten swings were there.
The
first down fling swing.
Yes. The feline incline slides. If a kitten slid down the slide, then the ball for their team was automatically placed on the 9-yard line.
Yes.
The 9-yard line.
Right.
Because cats have 9 lives, said Mary Carrillo.
Yes.
The kitten hamster ball was very funny to me. There's actually, you saw this, the moment where a kitten's rolling around on the hamster ball and rolled over the touchdown
in the end zone.
Into the end zone. Thank you. I don't know anything about football. And Mary Carrillo got out the rule book.
Yeah, that was great. I love that. That was great.
And she read the rule aloud.
It just says that a ball has to get into the end zone.
Well,
technically.
And that makes sense because there's always so many different kinds of balls for them to play with that they're not going to be specific. It's just a ball.
Right.
Hamster ball is a ball. It's in the name of the thing.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. She had to consult the rule book.
I loved it. It was a giant thing, too. She pulls this thing out. Big old prop.
Big binder.
Prop book.
Yeah. But I was wondering the same thing when I saw that. Before it was, when it happened, I'm like, oh, is that legal? Does that count? I'm like, they're not going to address this. Sure enough.
Why not?
Mary Carrillo's reaching for the rule book.
So good. On the other hand, something was done that I didn't like when it happened before. It happened again. Yeah. And it's a little thing, but it bothers me.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I've said it before. Uh-huh. So they always show the tailgating in the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
And Beth Stern was telling us about stuff going on in the parking lot.
Right.
One of the things is that there's cats and they're barbecuing hamburgers. And the cats will eat hamburgers. They can just be hamburgers. Right. Like, you have to go so crazy with the puns.
It's not necessary.
It's so not necessary in that case. Right? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it happened again.
I think they'd rather have chicken anyway.
Yeah. Chicken burgers. We had a skybox this time around.
Yes, we did.
There were, which I think was only, so they could do celebrity
puns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like going into it. It was so irritating to me. The one thing I did like up in the skybox was
Beyonce and Strazy.
Yes. That is not the one thing I liked, but that is an example of it.
Yes.
But it went, I mean, there was.
But it also gave Rocco DiSpirito a chance to talk about the fancy food that they were serving.
Yeah, it was funny. There was like, I can't even remember, but it was like, there was a play on Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it just went on and on and on.
Bill Furry. I remember.
Bill Furry.
There was one celebrity that was enjoying the
The skybox.
skybox.
Huh. But what I did like was up in the skybox, they had these stuffed penguins,
Oh, they were
stuffed
nice.
animal penguins.
Yeah.
Those were the waiters.
That was fun. That made me laugh.
Yeah, that's the only part of the skybox I liked. For the first time ever, we had a pre-game show.
Yes.
Puppies.
Puppy marching band.
It was puppies chewing on preschool instruments on the field.
They were chewing on little like toy trumpets.
Yeah, that preschoolers use.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they had stuck some sort of a dog treat in the mouthpiece.
But they had all those things that preschoolers play with, like little xylophones
Yes,
and
little drums.
yeah,
And they had them on some sort of wagon that they were
yeah.
pulling, and they
They're
called it a
puppy
marching
sized.
band. It was cute.
It was cute, but in comparison to that cuteness with the puppies,
Right.
which I actually thought was kind of clever.
Yeah.
On the Puppy Bowl this year,
Yeah.
they had a halftime show
Okay.
that was kittens, and I heard about it.
Yeah.
So it might have even been on Super Bowl Sunday that I watched it online.
Okay.
I couldn't watch it. And I don't want to go into a lot of details because I'm sure the Puppy Bowl people work really hard.
Sure.
But my impression was that the people who work in the Puppy Bowl really don't like cats and don't have much respect for them
Really?
because they were making them wear dumb costumes and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's dumb.
And they had them where they had like fake strobe lights and stuff. And I don't think kittens would like that.
Yeah.
And in comparison, watching this,
Yeah.
I was like, well, these puppies, they're just, the light is normal. They're not being put in dumb costumes.
Yeah.
They're just being allowed to be puppies. They're just giving them little instruments and saying, you chew on things anyway, chew on these things.
For a few minutes. We're going to run some cameras. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I didn't like the kitten halftime show at the Puppy Bowl.
Oh, that's disappointing.
It was. I was like, oh, that's nice. They're going to include kittens because the Kitten Bowl has included puppies before.
Well, they did this year with a halftime show.
Well, yeah. So we had a pregame with puppies and a halftime show that had puppies.
Yeah.
But last year's halftime show was
Also had
a thing with they had puppies and kittens on the field
Yeah,
together, like
yeah.
seeing each other for the first time.
Something like
Wasn't that the deal?
Yeah.
Like there were puppies and kittens that had never met puppies and kittens before,
Yeah.
or the other. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I know what you
I was having trouble explaining that.
mean.
Wasn't that it?
Something like that, and they had like a puppy DJ or something like that. That was
Yeah. Well, we had Happy the cat and Happy the dog this year. They were up in a blimp.
Oh my gosh, they have a blimp this year.
Very
That
exciting.
was very cool.
And John Sterling has now suggested that there be a Hallmark dome.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there was a weather situation.
That was funny,
That was-
actually.
I loved the weather thing.
Yeah.
After the playoff games and before, was it between? When did it happen?
It happened between the two playoff games.
Okay, right. Between the two playoff
That a fake
blizzard
came through.
and there was snow all over the field.
And there were puppies.
Yeah, they were the grounds crew.
Yeah.
With Scrappy, the head grounds crew guy, was leading a team of puppies to clear away the field
And
and to clear the parking lot.
I have to admit, those puppies were very cute.
They were very cute.
They were like dropping fake snow on them, and they were just having so much fun. They were just like
were out there with-
jumping and rolling, and
They were out there with little trucks and little plows and shovels and stuff. It was ridiculous. It was really very clever, though. I like that so much. I like that they went to that step and did that detail.
Yes.
That's something I really, really liked.
It was I like that part a lot. Speaking of detail like that, do you remember they did a piece? It was like a human interest piece on someone who works in the parking lot as a valet.
Yeah, Vinny the valet.
Yeah. And it was just a little kitten.
Yeah. He's making sure that everybody's car is where it needs to be.
It was just a kitten.
Yeah, that was cool too. Because that's the kind of thing they do on the Super Bowl.
They do it on human sports all the time.
They do. Yes. It was great. They clearly had a meeting. What can we add? You know how they always do this thing where they talk about somebody that works in that stadium?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And I think the Kitten Summer Games probably encouraged their creativity in that way. Because, in the Olympics, they always do those human interest stories, and they did those.
Yeah, they always have a background story about how the athletes got to where they are.
Because speaking of Mitzi, who was a cat they admitted was a female cat for the first time ever. Yay!
Yay, Mitzi.
Yeah. So she was on the Last Hope Lions. Coach Andy Need.
Yes.
Knead.
Right.
She's a nose tickle, which is a great joke I'd not heard before.
That's a new one.
Right? Who was found in a milk crate behind the University of Cincinnati cafeteria.
Yes.
So talk about a backstory. And then, so in past games, they've said funny things like that, like given John Sterling and Mary Carrillo funny things to say like that when they're introducing the players. But they don't come back to it.
Right.
And so I would have pages and pages of these notes, of these comments.
Right.
In this case, this became the thing.
Right.
Right? Because Mitzi scored the winning touchdown in the first playoff game.
Yes.
And it was a really big deal. She was the little kitten that could, and they had a whole inspiring story about her. They told us again about her being from this milk crate. And of course, that's not a true story for this kitten.
No.
But it's a very clever story.
It's a clever story, and it is a believable enough story that it could easily apply to any random kitten anywhere.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were saying that she'd been a first round draft pick, and she was like a little scrapper.
Right. From humble beginnings, she becomes a champion.
Yeah, and actually admitting that she's female, which they'd never done before, and then making her, the winner of that game.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Right.
I was very excited by that. Oh, on the Last Hope Lions, did you also notice that there was a kitten named Mambo, whose jersey number was number 5?
Oh,
Mambo number 5.
Right, I did
that was very subtle. I liked that because they've been so over the top with their Howie Longhairs and their Ron Gronkowskis, right? I preferred there were more players this year with just kitten names.
Right.
There's certainly those.
And then they can make a joke out of just plain being like Mambo. They can make a joke out of that. Funny. Like there were Frank and Beans who worked together. They were teammates who worked together.
Yeah, they were brothers.
Yeah, they were brothers.
Yeah, brother teammates.
Frank passes to Beans, and Beans carries it into the end zone,
and it turns out they're actually they've endorsed a line of hot dogs.
Right. And you could buy them in the parking lot.
That's right.
They think of everything.
They really do. It makes me very happy. Especially when there's not too much of it. Like, was it Kitten Bowl number 2 when every single cat had a pun football player name?
Yes.
There weren't like any,
I think so.
Just simple names. And it was like, oh God, I can't do this.
It's exhausting to sit through.
Right? Yeah. There was a new thing. They actually were saying the kittens would call a cuddle instead of a huddle. I don't remember that ever happening before.
No. And then they had when they did call a cuddle, they had them all mic'd.
That was one time. Yeah, they said the kittens had been wired for sound. I was so excited. I thought I was just going to hear purring.
No, you're a bunch of fake meow.
Yeah, it was just humans going meow, 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 meow. That I didn't like that.
No.
I would like them to do that again another time, but actually,
a real microphone.
well, they don't have to actually mic them. They can just play the sound of kittens purring, and that will make me very happy.
Yes.
Yeah. So going back to the blizzard though, did you notice when they were reporting on the blizzard that there was a news crawl at the bottom of the screen?
See the news crawl, yes.
Did you write them down?
I did not.
Let me read you some of the hilarious things the news crawl said.
Yeah, I was trying to take notes of what was happening and kind of look at them at the same time. I wasn't able to take notes.
Oh no, this was worth it.
Okay.
And as we're saying, they thought of everything this year. Like they really upped their game on this. Okay. So the breaking news crawl was just full of cat puns. Okay. So there's high traffic congestion in the parking lot. Hallmark Channel blimp grounded due to tailwinds. Frostbite warnings. Frostbite warnings. Water bowls frozen over.
Oh.
And then my favorite, Boomer Esiason buys a coat.
Oh my God. That's fantastic.
I loved it.
Oh, Boomer Esiason.
Buys a coat. That's news. I wonder if there's something to that. Like maybe
Boomer's always going out in the cold without a coat on.
So we'll just put this down here. Our halftime show this year in the championship game was performed by Cirque du Palais, which, by the way, I guessed how they would be spelling it, and I was right. PAW-LET.
Yeah.
Is how I typed it, and then that turned out to be exactly how they.
Very nice.
Yeah. And this was a little odd, but it was very cat-centric, even though it involved puppies.
Puppies, yes.
So this was the third time we're seeing puppies on this show.
It was called Rêve de Chaton.
Oh, is that what it was called?
Yes. So
I did not know that.
The show, so Cirque du Palais was the group that performed.
Yes.
Rêve de Chaton.
Well, so the conceit here was that there were some puppies, they were watching kittens play, and they wished that they were kittens.
Yes.
And so they all got very sleepy, and while they were asleep, they turned into kittens.
Yes.
And then they were happy because they could climb and jump high and all things that the puppies can't do. No, I mean, puppies can play.
Oh, yeah, but play like kittens.
Yeah, they wanted to play like kittens. They wanted to climb up things and jump across things. Yeah. And so I like that idea. Like, we're going to incorporate puppies, but we're going to remind everybody.
This is the Kitten Bowl.
And cats are better.
Right? Even puppies want to be kittens.
But 9 out of 10 puppies agree that it would be better to be a kitten. Right?
Yeah.
There's something very interesting about that. It did not pass my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But in the end, they woke up from their dream and they were puppies again.
Oh, and they were so sad.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
No.
They were, but it was
a clever thing.
It
was a very clever show. It's like that is the kind of thing that a Cirque du Soleil show might be like.
Well, yeah, and it was all done, with a VO narration.
Yes, it was.
And that was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the actress they chose to do the voice or what, but there was something about that was odd to me. But I liked the narrative. I liked the idea that puppies would want to be kittens, and I just kind of went with it.
Yeah, sure.
Just for the sake of naming it, I suppose, the first playoff game was between the North Shore Bengals and the Last Hope Lions. Last Hope Lions won in a last-minute nail-biting play, as tends to happen in these games.
That is the par for the course.
And then the Home and Family Felines played Boomer's Bobcats, and they won. And the big deal is that if they could get to the championship and win, they would be the first time ever.
Two-time winners.
Yeah, two-time winners. I really liked Boomer's Bobcats.
Yeah. They were a good
as a
team.
team,
Yeah, they were a
right?
good team.
And I really
I
want
was
to.
rooting for
I
them.
was. I don't normally root for a team. I was rooting for them.
Well, part of the reason I was rooting for them was because I didn't want a back-to-back winner. I think somebody
Interesting.
else would win, so just knock them out of it in the
Even
playoffs.
though they're all new kittens.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's really not like a team is
It's
winning.
Not the same, yeah, I know. It's not the same cats.
They're never the same
No.
cats. You know what I'd like to see? What would be fun if they could do it? I don't think they could, but if a former player could be a coach.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. But they're all house cats now, so I don't know that they'd want to go and
that would
be around that many kittens.
That might be tricky.
I mean, it just seems like it would be irritating for them.
Yeah.
Like, ugh, these kittens running around. They're not, I'm telling them what to do. I'm trying to call plays and they just don't listen, you know? But that would be fun if they could do that. Yeah, I liked Boomer's Bobcats. I liked that snowflake kitten.
Snowflake.
Very fluffy.
Mm-hmm. Very.
And there was a kitten named Pickles that I liked. That's the team that Hissing Bolt was on. There's also a teammate named DeMarco Purry, who apparently has his own Etsy store. So that was odd.
Right, DeMarco Purry.
There was a kitten on that team named Harry Fitzgerald.
Well, yeah.
Why not?
Why not? I love it.
And there was a kitten on that team named Cuddles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuddles.
And I think there's just something very appealing about red collars on gray kittens that I like too. So it's pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
I didn't remember though, because the Home and Family felines are black and white cats that wear orange collars.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to me. I don't remember those two teams playing against each other before.
Yeah.
Having orange and red collars on the field at the same time is a little hard to discern.
Yeah, it's a little tricky.
Especially because sometimes the gray cats have black in them, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't do you remember that?
I don't.
Because North Shore Bengals are orange with blue collars, Last Hope Lions are brown tabbies with purple collars, and they're very easily distinguishable when they're playing.
Very.
You know? So, I don't know. I don't remember that. Now, that thing I've talked about before, though, where there's never any Asian breeds anywhere. Mm-hmm. So that didn't get fixed this time.
No.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Never see
I think
Siamese kitten or anything.
Somebody at Hallmark is listening to us because they picked up on a lot of our other stuff.
I think so.
Maybe.
I hope so.
Maybe next year.
I hope they'll tell us. Maybe next year there'll be a hurricane.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, maybe the Kitten Bowl will be in Florida or something.
Yeah.
A hurricane is coming.
A hurricane. Oh, that's a great. If they do that, we will know for sure they were listening to us.
Yes.
I did want to share. So when I was, putting into my DVR that I wanted to record this, it only recorded one of the three programs from that Sunday. Yeah. But from apparently the Thursday or Friday before that, recorded an episode of Harry Connick Jr.'s daytime talk show.
Oh, really?
Because Beth Stern was on.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I guess there was something in the description about Kitten Bowl.
Yeah, must have.
Yeah. And it was really fun. I'd never seen Beth Stern on a talk show before.
Right.
And she was very good. And what they did was they actually set up a little Kitten Bowl backdrop and then a little bit of greenery.
Okay.
And they had a whole bunch of kittens there. And they shoot the show, Harry Connick Jr. show, in New York. Mm-hmm. So they were kittens from the North Shore Animal League. Okay. And they actually had a little picket fence thing in front of them that said North Shore Animal League on it. Yeah. And they must have had a dozen kittens running around, and she and Harry Connick Jr. were just sitting on the floor together. Yeah. It was very cute. Turns out he and his wife have a cat. And he was talking about how his wife used to think she didn't like cats. You know, and Beth Stern said, oh, no, they're just people who've never actually had the joy of living with a cat before, you know? And he said, well, that's what we found out. And, you know, my wife's obsessed with cats. And
have you ever seen that? There's a YouTube video that's been going around of these are people that thought they hated cats, and then they gave them a kitten for the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then you see like how they react with the kitten. And at first they're like, "Oh my God, there's a kitten."
Is it a BuzzFeed thing? I've seen a BuzzFeed thing that's like that.
Actually, be a BuzzFeed thing. I think I saw it on YouTube, but I think it might be a BuzzFeed thing. Yeah.
Like put them in a room.
Yeah.
With some kittens, and then they're like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever." Right. I didn't know it was like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I always thought I hated cats.
Yeah. I think I also saw a thing once where they like gave someone a box. Mm-hmm. They take the lid off the box and there's a kitten inside.
Okay.
And just watching people's reactions, like, here, I'm going to film you opening this box. They open the box. They're like, that's a kitten. And they're just like, oh, lucky, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think they get to keep the kitten, though.
Oh, wow. They don't film that part.
No.
They take the kitten away.
But BuzzFeed's always doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there being a thing on BuzzFeed once, but they always do things with men, and they did they gave men kittens.
Yeah.
And this one dude who at first was just like how long do I have to sit here?
Right.
And then they edited it all together, and then he had like the kitten sitting on top of his head, you know. Yeah, but I know the one you're talking about is that they take people. It's like a little house, right? And they like take people inside the little house.
Yeah.
And they're going to expose them to cats.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have seen it. Yeah. That is a BuzzFeed thing. It's been around a couple of years.
Yeah, it's been around a while.
Yeah. So Harry Connick Jr.'s wife
had that same experience.
Exactly.
There you go.
But it was nice. He asked a lot of really good questions about cats and adopting cats. And
I didn't even know he had a talk show.
I was only vaguely aware that he had a talk show.
Is he his own band?
He is the piano player in his own band.
Okay, good.
He has,
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, he had. I'd never watched it before, so I was only vaguely aware it existed, and I'd never seen it.
Okay.
So I watched it.
Yeah, sure.
And I loved the segment that he did with Beth Stern. He also had a really good cooking segment.
Oh, nice.
The guy, all kinds of tips about pulled pork, which was, I know. And he had a guy on who's on a show I like on TV who I'd never seen on a talk show before. So, did you ever watch that Life in Pieces sitcom?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but no, I've never seen it.
Yeah. Anyway, I like it. I think it's a good show, but there's an actor on it who I've never seen on a talk show ever, and he did like a 10-minute segment with him.
Okay.
And like, oh, wow. How about that?
Sounds like a nice, happy accident that it recorded.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I learned some stuff about pulled pork. I learned about meat thermometers, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they were saying, not that our listeners need to know this, but it was interesting to me. They said you should never time meat when you're cooking it. Only use a meat thermometer. Don't worry about the clock at all.
Right.
Just the meat thermometer.
Right.
And then you'll always finish cooking at the same time. At the right time.
Yeah, recipe says cook it for 45 minutes. I'm going to cook it for 45 minutes and then I'm going to eat it.
Don't do that.
Trichinosis and die.
Yeah. Or it'll be burnt, but it told me 45 minutes. So, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Harry Connick Jr. is saying, I've never made bad meat since I invested in a good meat thermometer, he was telling everybody. I was like, okay.
Wow. What's the best one?
I don't know. But he was like, you got to get a good one.
Yeah.
Like, well, I think we need a segment about different meat thermometers now.
Exactly.
Maybe they've done that on the show since then. I don't know. Anyway, Beth Stern was charming.
Yeah.
She talked about how she and Howard have fostered over 350 cats in their time working with North Shore. Mm-hmm. She said they currently have 6 resident cats, but had like over 20 fosters between kittens and special need adults that they take care of. I just love hearing all this.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And that apparently it's Howard's job to name all the kittens. And I don't think I'd ever heard that before. Yeah. I think I've seen her on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live, but that's not a show to get out a lot of facts on, Anyway, yeah, it was really good. But what was super cute was that the kittens were trying to explore. So they were leaving. They'd set up this beautiful area for kittens to play on. And, Beth Stern had a little feather wand and, and they were holding and cuddling or whatever. But then they kept getting away and like going out into the audience. And they actually turned the cameras around and, they had some people who came from North Shore with the kittens, right? And they were like they were wearing North Shore t-shirts and they're like grabbing kittens here and there. And Beth Stern joked that, because she kept reminding everyone that, these are all adoptable kittens and she had all her facts down. She's very good, And then she was joking that the kittens that were escaping, it's because they were seeing humans they wanted to go home with. So if the kitten gets to you,
you know what that means.
It's time to adopt a kitten.
It's like herding cats in there.
Yes. But I don't think I'd ever heard her ad lib before.
That's a good one. That's like that.
Yeah.
Very good.
So, she was trying to get across the idea that she and Howard are very boring at home. They go to bed at like 8 p.m. because of his morning show. Yeah. She said, but even when we don't have to get up, we're still in bed by 8 p.m. We've taken care of, we're just with the cats. She talked about that cat Yoda. Do you know she wrote a book about this cat named Yoda? I think it's just a picture book.
Yeah.
I swear I've seen it before, though. But this is such a sweet story, and it really says so much about how important fostering is. That this cat was old and was diagnosed with a heart condition, and they couldn't put him up for adoption because they were saying he only had like a month to live or something. Yeah. And so she and Howard adopted him. Didn't just take him in as a foster. Just said, we'll adopt him. We'll give him a good home.
Yeah.
And until his time. Yeah. And he discovered their kitten room at the house. Yeah. And just went in the kitten room and started taking care of kittens, like grooming them. And he's been living in there for like 2.5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. And they had a picture of him. He has a funny-looking Persian.
Yeah.
He's like a big, fat, flat-faced cat.
Nice.
So, I think it's nice. I'm glad that she has the opportunity to do more press.
Sure.
Especially, as we've been saying, she just gets better and better at being on camera.
Yeah.
So there were a couple of times where she was interviewing. It's not really interviewing. I think it's pretty much scripted. Right. But when she's talking to the celebrities, where she wasn't looking quite into the camera.
Okay.
She was looking sort of like.
All right.
And I was a tiny bit off put, but she was still doing a good job. Did you notice that?
I kind of did. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
She's never done that before, I don't think.
No.
I wonder if someone told her not to look directly into the camera.
It could be.
And now
she's taking it a little too far.
Yeah. She's got to move. No, she does great.
She does a great job.
Yeah. They're lucky to have her. Hallmark's lucky to have her. Yes. North Shore Animal League's lucky to have her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love Beth Stern.
Yeah, we love her.
Yeah.
We've always loved her. We've just been encouraging her to,
and she's been running with it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like Mitzi.
She's like Mitzi. So, do you have anything else? I mean, in the end, the Home and Family Felines won it again, in a last second.
Yes.
It is always last second on these things.
And it was, because the game was tied, like right at the end.
Yeah.
And then
Noodles.
Yes, the coach put Noodles in, and they're like, "Is this a crazy thing?"
Coach Hairball.
Yeah, Coach Hairball, because he's just kind of been on the sidelines for the whole game, hadn't done anything. He was kind of hiding, actually.
Yeah, because he was scared, and he got a pep talk from the ref.
And then in the last minute, there was 1 minute to go. Noodles had an interception and a touchdown run to win the game.
Aw, Noodles. So
and he got MVK for that.
Did online. Yeah. He did get MVK.
Yeah. Now, my only complaint if I must make a complaint about the Kitten Bowl.
All right. You are allowed to make complaints about the Kitten Bowl.
It's very minor because these are details that don't really matter. But I'm trying to watch it as if it were a sporting event. So I'm always wanting to know what is the score and how much time is left in this quarter.
See, and I never do that.
Well, because they don't put it up.
No.
They only will put the score up at the end of the quarter. And I'm watching plays. I'm like, who's ahead? What? They keep saying that the time is running out. They're in the final seconds. How many seconds? Let me see the clock. And they do show it when there's like 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
It's superficial. I know it's not an actual game, and I know it doesn't really adhere
It's
to
not
an
a real
actual
sport.
clock. Yes. I know this, but I'm trying to watch it that way because I'm trying to write down like, oh, at the end of the third quarter, this was the score. I don't know what the final score of the game was.
In the championship game?
I'm not 100% sure because they didn't really say. I mean, I was kind of trying to keep track, and I think it was 30-24, but I'm not 100% sure. Because they never said what the final score was.
I pay a lot of attention to things like the players' names. Or you know how there have been times where I've caught them out, like claiming that a kitten's on a different team later on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? It's very confusing to me. That sort of thing I pay a lot of attention to. But I can't follow the game. I mean, I know you've done it before. I've seen your notes before. I don't even attempt it.
No, it's not really. I know it's not worth it, but I do try. And I did notice this is not even really a complaint. This is just something I noticed. And I don't even remember which game it was in. I think it may have been in the second playoff game.
Okay.
But they showed a kitten swinging on the fling swing.
Yeah.
Like in the third quarter, and they take those away at halftime. So he shouldn't have been on a fling swing in the third quarter. There was a little bit of a continuity error there.
I'm actually surprised I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Huh.
But
anyway, well, we'll let it slide.
They do a great job.
We'll let it kitten slide down the kitten slide.
Yes, exactly.
I was enjoying Noodle's trading card online.
Yeah.
Did you see his trading card online?
Yes.
His quote on his trading card is, "The best things in life aren't fleas."
That's very true.
Right? His position is spring guard.
Spring guard.
That's cute.
That's very cute.
I don't think that's a real position, is it?
I like John Sterling said that this is the biggest bowl that Noodle has ever been in.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll tell you something funny, though. They have this, so if you're on the Hallmark Channel website for the 2017 Kitten Bowl, I'm going to show this to you right now, Tim.
Okay, we'll open it.
So there's this graphic that says the winner is, like you're supposed to click on it or whatever to see. And all the kittens pictured in this graphic, none of them are on the home and family felines.
Interesting. That's
right?
True.
Yeah. So, I mean, we would imagine that the MVK is going to be someone on the home and family felines or the winning team. Although I think that hasn't always been true.
No, not necessarily.
But I can't remember right now. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, that's
how about that?
It's not quite right.
Well, that's to keep you guessing.
Right.
So there's Noodle.
But there's Noodle, the most valuable kitten. Mm-hmm. So good for Noodle.
Yes. Good for all the kittens.
I didn't check this year before the game.
Yeah.
But there have been years where you could vote on most valuable kitten before the games were actually aired.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was problematic.
That is indeed.
Because then people are just voting
for the cutest kitten.
Right. Yeah. Not for the kitten that deserves it.
Exactly.
So if Mitzi could have won, wouldn't it have been great?
That would have been great.
If a girl won it.
Absolutely.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
And there will be a next time.
There will be. Oh, as a matter of fact, did you see the commercial
No, I didn't see commercials. I was watching on demand.
Coming up in April, early April,
Yes.
is the kitten version of March Madness. I forget what the name of it is, but they're playing basketball.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. I wrote it down, and I've been looking in my notes. I can't find in my notes where I wrote it down. I forget what they called it. Oh, like March Meowness or something like that.
We'll find out right now.
Meow Madness.
The road to the final fur.
That's it. That's it.
They're promising that they'll show plenty of shots from the flea zone.
Oh, good.
So that's good. Glad to hear about that.
Nice.
But Noodles won't want to be there because Noodles thinks that the best things in life aren't fleas.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's good to keep in mind.
That's something to keep an eye out for. Not too far away either.
Wow. Well, there will always be more kitten sports. I think as long as there is Hallmark Channel and as long as there is Beth Stern, there will be kitten sports.
And they keep coming up with new ones every year.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I don't know that we were sure how they were going to play the Paw Star game, and that turned out pretty well.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
So I guess we will see.
We will see.
Huh.
Kittens playing basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there won't be kitten summer games.
No.
Wonder if they'll try kitten winter games.
That would be interesting.
Skiing. The ice skating.
The biathlon.
No.
Kitten curling, that would be great.
Kitten curling, I think they would do that naturally.
They would.
All right.
Alrighty.
So yeah, I think this was the best Kitten Bowl so far.
I agree.
And I hope they keep bringing us the kitten sport entertainment.
It was entertaining and fun, and I love all the new stuff. The new stadium and all the new the weather stuff and the
It was great.
Crew. It was fantastic.
Yeah, there were new puns and not as many of them. Like it didn't feel quite so laden with puns.
Right. They didn't force them down your throat.
Yeah, and more Boomer Esiason.
Oh, Boomer. You bought a coat.
All right, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. Go play with your cats.
Go play with your cats.